What is going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to talk to you about NIO. I want to go over some expectations for this upcoming week, what might cause volatility in the stock price, and go over everything else that you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up, and with that, let's get right to it. So starting off with macro data, we don't really have that much at all. So we do have some data coming out on Monday, but the market's closed on Monday. So a lot of Chinese stocks will kind of move on Tuesday because of that. But FDI, not really that big of a deal in all honesty. So this week is going to be largely linked to companies putting out their earnings as well as technicals. So in NIO's case as well, it does largely get moved through algorithmic trading. There's a lot of big data coming out from the American side. And even though, again, it shouldn't affect NIO, it does through algorithmic trading. So Wednesday and Friday, those are going to be some of the hot days on the American side. For companies putting out their earnings, this is it. So Walmart, we've seen them really move the broader market and through especially their top and bottom line and what they give for future guidance. So that one Thursday before the market does open, that one's going to be kind of the hot one. But aside from that though, like I said, it's going to be just any update, whether that be from NIO itself. And so far, there isn't really anything planned. I do feel that sometime this week, they will announce the actual date of their earnings. So that could be a pretty good catalyst in among itself. So NIO did recently announce that they have a profit alert. So it wasn't just break even. They mentioned they were full profitable, and that's huge. And so the first time ever, of course, I think a lot of institutions are still somewhat hesitant. They're going to be waiting for their actual earnings to occur just to go through line by line, just to see if there's any kind of like hidden red flags potentially. But I do feel like they will be announcing their earnings sometime this week. Aside from all of that, though, going into this upcoming week for shorts, 7.02% of the free float is being shorted, works out to be 143 million shares overall being shorted. For those of you that watched my Friday video, I did kind of mention, don't be surprised in the second half of the day if shorts hit NIO, just to ensure that it does not close above $5. We've seen that level of manipulation time and time again, and that's exactly what did happen. So even on Friday, shorts did increase 356,000 shares. At the time of doing my video, shorts were returning roughly around 700,000. So they went polar opposite. They doubled down just to hit NIO. So as much as I'd like to say that shorts will F off, they're still a very big part of the daily volume, so making up roughly around 35 to 45% of the daily volume. So at the end of the day, anticipate shorts to be fairly active. Ideally, NIO just blows past that $5 mark and kind of doesn't look back. This week is kind of a big deal for NIO based on the technicals, so I'll go over that shortly. But from a option standpoint, looking for from the bulls, they are feeling that between 5 to 550 is on the table. Bears are anticipating for it to be kind of between 450 and 5. You have a lot that was done around that $4 strike price. I think that was mostly hedging though, so I wouldn't really take that fully unless there is something really negative coming out that somehow bears feel that it's going to be sub $4. Realistically, I don't think that's on the table, but with it right now and closing on Friday at 495, it is trading between this R1 and the pivot. So 485 is going to be that strong support that you really want to watch for NIO to hold early on in the week. So that's going to be the Tuesday, Wednesday. Then $5.20 is going to be the next strong target / resistance. There's also that psychological $5 mark that's smack dab in the middle between that, and that's largely linked to the options. Aside from all of that fun stuff on the actual chart, as I mentioned, things are looking pretty good. Luckily enough, we did close above that 50-day moving average, and generally speaking, that's a very, very big deal for NIO. So you can kind of tell that NIO really does want to move higher, just there's kind of greater forces out there really suppressing the broader market. So as I even mentioned on my Friday video, like NIO's surprisingly holding up very well. I get a lot of people don't like the price action, feel that it should be above $10 and so forth, which realistically, if NIO had even half of the PS ratio of a American EV, in theory, NIO should be at like $15, $20. So I get the kind of frustration with NIO. It's always been a very frustrating stock. It should be a lot higher than what it is. But as profitability does numerous quarters come in, then shorts will kind of back away. Institutions will, in theory, get back into NIO and stay there. And hopefully the price will more resemble what happens operationally. But based on for this upcoming week, we have that 10-day moving average sitting at 480, and then you also do have that 50-day moving average at 486. So kind of just watch for both of those. In theory, the next big point and breakout point is going to be that 200-day moving average sitting at 519. So in general, I do feel like this upcoming week, there's a lot of good opportunity for NIO to really move higher, but if they somehow put out some news or some big milestone updates, because generally the market does really favor milestone and new launch type of updates, then you'll have algorithmic trading really pushing NIO higher. So let me know your thoughts on NIO. Where do you feel things are going to be going? One thing did come out though, not on the ADR version, but we did get a couple new analyst ratings for the actual primary. So again, there's always that difference. Sometimes TipRanks rolls it over to the ADR, sometimes they don't. That's if the firm is, I think, recognized. But yeah, lately the last rating that did come out was on February the 8th. That was done by JPM. So let me know your thoughts on NIO. One final thing, pop over to my Patreon if you're looking for some solid buy signals on stocks, options, crypto. Put out daily day trades, numerous swing trades. Worthwhile to pop over there and check that out. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.